Hey everyone, welcome back to A Beautiful Ride. How's it going? Been a while. Been a crazy couple of months for me. Um, just with everything, work and life and everything. So it's good. Just this morning, I'm just having a chill morning, and yeah, just taking my time with some things. And I thought, it would be nice to do a video. And usually, how I do it is whenever I think of an idea, I kind of like write it down in my notes section. And when I come to a video, I just look at them and I think, which one today am I thinking would be a good one to do? And today's one, by the title, is looking at kind of small changes, not big ones, how they can have like really big impacts. And I think how sometimes, like in life, when we're not happy with the way things are going, or something feels a bit off, we just think we need to have like a big change, to try and rectify it. Like let's say like the classic example of like, I haven't been studying well, exams are coming up, I've barely been doing any study, so next week I'm going to be doing like 6 hours like solid every day. Just that's quite a big change, to your daily routine compared to maybe what you were doing before, where you were kind of procrastinating or something. So yeah, just thinking about the smaller changes really, but just with everything in life, and how I think the thing with the big changes, sometimes it works, but how it kind of deceives us sometimes and doesn't really work out is because they're so big, it's hard to actually incorporate that change into your life and to sustain it. Whereas I feel like with small changes it's easier. Still not easy, but easier. And I think we actually don't realise how much of a difference it can make. And why I'm thinking about this is I'm going to think about it for myself, where my kind of routine's a bit out of whack recently, and I'm thinking about just how, and my mindset's a bit out of whack recently, just thinking about how I kind of get back on track with that. And yeah, just with like, just thinking of the small things that can make a big difference. Like one thing I have been doing recently, which has worked really well, is I think we can all relate with like looking at our phone in bed in the evening and in the morning. In the evening, where we think we're going to watch it for like half an hour, we're not spending 2 hours, and then we'd have a bad night's sleep, and that fucks up the next day. Or in the morning when you wake up at a decent time but you feel so groggy still, and you're just like, I'll just like watch 15 minutes on my phone, and then that turns into an hour. And I think for me, I find that the way I start my day pretty much determines how my day is going to go. Like if I start it productive and disciplined, it's a good day. If I start it lethargic and like indulgent, like with like extra lie-in, stuff like that, especially on like a day where if I'm getting up at work like on 9 on the dot, ready to start at 9, it's a bit like of a rushed thing, and it doesn't make me feel good, and then that can kind of, that domino effect can happen for the rest of the week. So the small thing I've been doing recently, where I'm noticing actually it's an important thing, is I can spend too much time on my phone in the morning in bed. It delays me getting up. So I've said to myself, rather than like super strictly like no phone, in bed in the evening, none in the morning, like no phone in bed, I could try that, but I think it would be unrealistic, just because I know with myself that just won't work out in the long term. And also there's things like I like to watch in the evening before going to sleep. So I kind of negotiate it and kind of just make it a bit smaller, which is just saying like, okay, you can have your phone in the evening, you can watch your show before bed, or your video that can usually helps me get to sleep, or listen to an audiobook. That's kind of part of my evening routine. But in the morning, like, you can't be on your phone in bed. You can't. So like what I've done is I've put my phone on my desk with my alarm, so I have to get up to turn off the alarm, and then by the time I'm up, I'm like less likely to then start just watching a video, because if my alarm is by me in bed, I kind of like, you know, click off the alarm, and then I'll just be like watching like a video for like 15-20 minutes, and that can usually spiral out of control. So it's a really small change, but it's had like a really big impact, like with my mornings and then really my day, and it's a small thing, and like how impactful it can be. And this is kind of like the power of like those small changes in general. Like if you just make like 2 or 3 small changes now in your life, I don't think we realise that how in 5 years our life could be so different because of all like the multiplier effects. Like if you, like we're talking really small, like we compare a life where someone is, you know, on their phone every morning. Let's say another thing of, either my version of myself. Oh, we don't want the ads. We have a version of myself where I'm like making a good breakfast in the morning, compared to another version of myself where I'm not. And let's think of one other thing. I don't know. Oh yeah, I'd say a version of myself where I'm taking a walk at lunchtime, compared to when I'm not. When I'm maybe sometimes I might get into that routine of like just watching TV at lunchtime. And I guarantee you that the version of Sam where he's adopting not being on his phone in the morning, having a good breakfast, and going for a walk at lunchtime in 5 years' time will be far better than the version of Sam where he is on his phone every morning, he does watch TV at lunchtime, and he doesn't have a great breakfast. You know, because they all have multiplier effects. They all affect our mood massively, our mindset massively, and that affects everything. That affects like how well you can do in your job, in your relationships, in your aspirations, yeah, just in your general like, and your happiness as well, really. Because I think that's what they say as well. Like if you're ever feeling like in a mood of like a rut, or you're even feeling depressed, they first say, well, first checklist before we go to like, you know, measures like therapists and stuff like that is, are you having a good night's sleep? How is your diet? Are you doing some decent amount of exercise, you know? And if you can check those things off and still say, I'm feeling a bit better, but yeah, it's not enough. I've got something wrong I need to address. Then fair enough, go. But for quite a few people, actually just doing those things can make a difference. Like with the months, you know, make a massive difference. So yeah, those really small changes have like a really profound impact on what you could be like in 5 or 10 years time. It's just like those small changes, those small kind of day-to-day habits. You know, like I imagine like, and I'm trying to do this a bit more, as if like, and you know, it's a bit one at a time. You know, I'm trying to master these little small changes one at a time, rather than do like 10 at once. Just do like 1 or 2. And then when you feel like you've got it down, then you can look at some others. So I'm going to do those 3 that I mentioned. I'm pretty good with the breakfast now, so I feel like I can say like I'm done with that. The walking at lunchtime, I'm getting there, getting a bit better. It's hard on some days where work's really busy, but I'm like, I need to do this. And even if I miss a day, I need to get back to it. But yeah, like with a new one now, I'm thinking like, oh, let's just play guitar like for 10 minutes a day, you know? Or let's just do my 5 minutes of Duolingo in the morning, you know, just to make sure that's on repeat, just as a baseline. Then I can improve it from there, but I'm just getting a baseline there, right? And I think like a couple of weeks ago, what kind of got me out of whack and how I'm kind of recovering from it is, I think I have got the good mental discipline to have those routines and living the way I want to. You know, like I was very good with the gym. I was getting good with the tennis again. You know, balancing work-life balance, like be able to go and socialize and stuff like that. But what rocks me off and I'm trying to kind of deal with is I get like some illnesses quite a bit. Like it can be like from irritated skin to like stomach problems to, you know, like head problems. And, you know, it kind of throws me off my routine. And like I try and take it easy to kind of recover, you know. Sometimes a bit too easy to recover. And it just throws me out of whack, and then it takes a bit of time to get back into those things again, and it just throws me off every time I kind of get to a point where I'm really good with the progress. Like the gym, I was like lifting the heaviest I've ever lifted, and then I got ill, and then it sets me back, and then I'm going back to the gym now, and like I'm set back quite a few kilograms, which is frustrating, but it's just about getting back onto that wheel again. And yeah, for me, kind of like one of my big things is trying to manage those things where I do have those inevitable periods where an illness will take it out of my control, and just like how much I slip up from that is like really down to me. And also like because I take it so easy to recover, I think maybe I should be a bit more like, no, I can still be good at getting up on time, and no, I can still be good at, you know, eating my breakfast and going for my walks, even though this thing is causing me irritation or you know, lowering my energy levels, you know, like still like, let's just still push through that barrier. So and yeah, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. So I ask you as well, like, what, if you're thinking about in your life now, you're thinking about the things that might annoy you, or if you ask honestly, like the things that maybe are not so good for you, like let's say, I think we can all relate, you know, in the morning, like watching stuff on our phone. You know, can you go without having to go on your phone in the morning in bed? Can you put it on your desk to get you up? Is that just one small thing that you can do and you can try and do for like a month or so? So yeah, ask yourself like what's kind of a bit irritating. Where's a bit of friction in your life at the moment? What's one small thing that you can probably do to try and make things a bit better? And just watch like how it changes your mood a bit, and how it gives you a bit more energy, and how you just feel a bit happier as well, you know, and like it kind of mitigates any state where your mood is not so good. So yeah, I'd say that's it. It's been good to do a video again. I think the last one was 4 months ago. Maybe that's my thing now. Maybe this is a small change day to day. I've been talking about small changes day to day, but so it's slightly off topic, but maybe it's annoying. I find these really cool non-copyright like playlists on YouTube, which is great, but they have ads on it from time to time, which is annoying. And then people say, "Oh, use ad blocker," but I like the YouTubers to get the revenue, and maybe I could go and find some on Spotify. I just find there's some really good ones on YouTube. Anyway, what I was saying was maybe one of my things that I can try and be a bit more disciplined with is doing these videos every month, once a month. Had a bit of a good grow, but then stuff got in the way, and kind of like talked myself out of it when I'm thinking about doing a new video. But let's try and make it a month now. I'm getting good with my breakfast, so let's maybe replace the breakfast with these videos. So yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful ride. You're enjoying the lovely weather. This week has been super hot and I love it. I love the heat. It gives me the energy. And I hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend.